Hey you guys, it's Peter, and welcome to my channel, Peterisms, where I tell stories of my life and just little things that I have learned as I have grown into the person that I am today. And it is such a beautiful day in Indianapolis. It's like 85 degrees. I'm filming some videos, and I think I'm gonna go head to the pool for my very first time this summer. I'm really excited. I'm looking at the back patio. It's beautiful out there. It's finally ready to be used for the summer. I'm so excited about that. The front porch is gorgeous as well. I just got done watering the plants, filming some videos, like I said. We're gonna have a very relaxed weekend, and I'm really excited about it. We're going out to dinner with my husband's aunt and uncle tonight, and his grandma. And I'm really excited about that. We're gonna sit outside, which will be really fun. And then tomorrow, I don't have anything to do except for maybe film some videos, and which I love to do, and go to the pool, you know? And then Sunday, I have our live stream for True Crime Book Club, and my husband and I will go to brunch. So it's like the perfect weekend, and I'm really excited about it. I just love to relax and, you know, listen to audiobooks and hang out with my husband and go out to eat and, you know, just watch movies and TV shows and stuff like that. So I'm really excited about it. Okay, let's get into today's meditations. The first one that I'm going to read is from A Year of Positive Thinking, Daily Inspiration, Wisdom, and Courage by Cindy Spiegel. And it is for June 4th. Let's get my reading glasses on. June 4th. How to get started. Doing anything of significance takes time, but you do have to start somewhere. Less talking, more doing. Take one small step and then another. If getting started means setting a simple intention, begin there. From intention comes action. Whatever the first step is, don't wait. Get started. I really like this meditation, and it's actually a meditation that I need to be reminded of on a regular basis. You know, I think for me, whenever I start something new or like a new project or something of which I've kind of been toying around with an idea of a new project that I'm getting ready to start, and I always get kind of nervous about that. I always get kind of scared, you know. It's like, anyway, it's a personal project. It's not anything, you know, that's going to be some big video deal or whatever. But I always get very nervous about that, you know. It's like, okay, if I do this, like, you know, what, and I don't know what's the worst thing that could happen is that I fail and I learn from that mistake, you know. And I remember back in the day, it's kind of like a recovery saying, but my old sponsor used to always say to me, because I'd be like, if there was something I wanted to do, it would seem like I had all like this stuff that I had to do, right? Like there was this huge amount of work to get to the end of the road, right? And he would say, do you know how you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And it's kind of like that mentality, right? And then I was like talking to a friend of mine one night, and we were talking about awareness, and that like the idea of awareness as kind of like a pre-step to working steps in recovery. And I thought, you know, it's not just about working steps. Awareness of anything is like a huge kind of like, I think, moment, a step forward into anything that you want to accomplish in life. So, you know, I think that we toy around with all these different ideas of what we want to do, and do we want to do this, and where do we want to move, and what kind of, you know, it's all, life is really, my dad used to say to me, life is a decision tree, okay? And you go up and you make a decision, and then that, like, there are two branches, right? And then you go up, and then there's two more branches, and you have to make decisions. And when you get to the top of the tree, your life is done. That's what my dad used to say to me about the decision tree. But there's a lot of truth to that, you know? And I think that the first step in any kind of project or anything that you want to do with your life is awareness of what you want to do, and also the importance of that, you know, and why it's important to you and why it's significant to you. And it talks in here about anything of significance, right? So I think that that's really, really important. It's like, you know, I think with people getting sober, you have to first acknowledge that it's a problem before you can do something, right, about it. Like, I think about the people that seem to struggle the most with getting sober. They seem to be the people that cannot accept the fact that they actually have a problem. I think one of the most blessed things that happened to me was when I walked into the rooms of recovery, I already knew I was an alcoholic and an addict. You know, people have been telling me for a long time, like, you're using as a problem, and I would be like, yeah, for you, but it's not a problem for me, but it really was. I mean, I knew, I would sit there and get wasted by myself and watch movies like Clean and Sober and things like that. I would watch, you know, I don't know what movies were out at the time before I got sober, but I would watch like alcoholic movies and drug movies back in the day before, you know, like I got sober, and I would sit there and I would, you know, like use and drink while watching those movies. It was like I glamorized that in my head of this like desperation. So then when I got into treatment the last time, like I knew I had a problem. And not only that, I had tried to quit so many times on my own. Like, if I were really being honest with myself at that time, which I decided to be, thank God, then, I mean, like, I had tried to quit on my own at the age of 22, like, probably 50 plus times. Like, legitimately tried to quit. Like, I am not ever using again. And the reality was, I couldn't. But I had the awareness. And so the awareness for me was the first step in actually doing something. And anything significant that you want to do in your life, the awareness of wanting to do it is the first thing. The second thing I think is asking yourself, now how do I do, or what do I do next, right? You don't have to do it all. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to, be a work in motion. You can just say, what do I do next? And then say, am I willing to do that? One of the biggest things for me is, there are a lot of things that are proposed to me in sobriety that I'm not willing to do at the time, whether that's make amends to somebody or do inventory or whatever. I might not just be in a place to do that at the moment, right? Like emotionally. And I have said to my sponsors through the years, all of them, like I just don't feel like right now that I'm super willing to do that. Like I wish I was. And they always say to me, pray for willingness. If you aren't willing to do this right now, pray for the willingness to be willing to do it, And I have prayed for the willingness to be willing to do something, and it's come, like every single time it's come to me. And I've been willing to look back on that. I've done those things, and now looking back on that, realized how important it was to do those things that were suggested to me. So today, I'm not as resistant, and I just do those things, But, we're all a work in progress. We're all going to learn things as we go. It's not going to happen overnight. So that's a good meditation, though, Don't forget that. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. You're not going to get the whole thing, the whole project done right away. You're not going to be an A-plus, super successful story every single time of everything that you do in your life. And if you're one of these people that says, like, I'm a perfectionist, really check that out, because to say I'm a perfectionist means that you really do believe that you can hit the mark on perfect, okay? And I think that there needs to be some humility that comes along with our living. When you look at it, things you say, I've never been perfect in anything that I've done, okay? Even a person that gets a perfect score on an SAT, I'm sure there might have been a smudge on your Scantron test. I'm just saying, okay? So I don't know that there's any perfect experience of anything, and every experience looks completely different. And when you realize that every experience looks completely different in this world, that's when you're able to start accepting your journey and how beautiful it is, and to realize, wow, I have a blessed life. I have an amazing life. And just because my life doesn't look like somebody else doesn't mean that I don't have a life that is beyond amazing to my own, And then when you have other people that are like, oh my God, I wish I had your life. My life? You wish you had my life? You know what I mean? Because then you realize other people looking at, it's this cool thing, and we don't really value or have gratitude for our own lives the way that other people might look at us. And think about that sometimes. Think, if I weren't me, if I was somebody looking in at my life, what might they think? And are there things that they would be envious of in my own life? Those things are probably things that you should be grateful for, if they're true. I think often we look at other people's lives with this very skewed idea of what their life is really like. You know what I mean? Like, we look at it and we think that they have it all figured out and it's perfect. I can remember my mom back in the day. She got so tired of those Christmas cards, that would have all the family be in matching. I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend anybody, okay, out there, but the sweaters where everybody's in front of, the family where everybody's in front of the fireplace with the dog, and everybody's got a sweater on, even the dog. And in the back of the card, it's like this typed out letter, and it says letter from the director of HR for the family of the Smith Jones or whatever, and it's like, Holly got into Harvard, and Steve's a Fiji at NYC, or NY University, and Colleen's decided that she's going to pursue medical school at Columbia, and we're so proud of all of them. And we just bought our third house in Aspen, and it's like, my mom just hated that. She was like, these people, do they not have any skeletons in their closet? And she said one year, I'm going to put a Christmas card out. I'm going to say, Peter's in treatment again. This was after we were sober. But she said, I just wish sometimes I would put a card. I think it was after we got sober. But she said something about, I wanted to put a card out that said something like, Peter's in treatment again. And my life's in misery and something else. But anyway, so sad, isn't it? All right, let's read from the language of letting go. And then let's close this down for the day. Okay. Well, that's a really spiritual one, so I don't know. I want to read something that's maybe a little bit, it's called Trusting God. Oh, this opened right to the 4th, so here it is. June 4th, this is from A Journey to the Heart. Not that there's anything wrong about reading a meditation about trusting God. Obviously, I love meditations like that. But for other people out there, I don't want to... I sometimes like to keep them a little bit more ambiguous so that everybody can relate to the readings, you know? June 4th, let joy find you. Somewhere along my journey it happened. Quietly, imperceptibly, almost without my knowing it, I relaxed. Got comfortable with myself. I began enjoying myself, accepting life, liking life. I found joy. Somewhere along your journey, it will happen to you. Joy is a gift. It appears almost imperceptibly, without warning, like a morning sunrise lighting our bedroom while we sleep. And it is almost as predictable. Keep doing the activities that bring healing and growth into your life. Keep loving yourself. Keep walking your path. Continue loving. Don't worry about finding joy, because somewhere along your journey, joy will find you. Okay, I don't know why I'm feeling this, but you know, often in these videos, I just go with what my gut says, which is always so crazy, because then one person will say like, oh my God, this was the message that I needed to hear. So whoever needs to hear this today, this is for you, okay? Okay, I was going in and telling this story about a friend of mine, and then I said her name, and although I don't think that she would really care, because, you know, she shared the story with other people as well. But anyway, so let me go in and retell the story. Okay, what had happened was, I have this friend of mine that I've been friends with for like, since high school, since like right after high school, because it was like when I was in my first apartment. Anyway, we've been friends for a really long time. She has a difficult time holding on to friendships. And one of the reasons is that, you know, she's kind of got this very like mean girl attitude. I mean, she's not like a mean girl, but that very kind of like snarky, like she thinks it's funny, you know? And I think that what happens is as people get older, they don't think that's funny. So we were sitting out, actually right out on my front porch out here one night, and she said something to me to the effect of, she's like, you know, I just don't understand why people keep on walking away from me. I keep on losing all these friendships. I don't really understand it. And I said, you know, somewhere along the way, you learned that it was kind of cute to be kind of like the mean girl and kind of be like snarky and sarcastic and like jokingly put people down. I said, people don't really like it. I said, it's not, you know, like, it's not fun to be the butt of the joke always, or to feel like you're not ever having a sincere moment. And she said to me, she was like, do you feel like I don't have a sincere moment? I said, I feel like when I'm with you, I'm not really sure that you're having a lot of fun every day, you know, because you're just constantly complaining, and she was very negative, very toxic. And the truth, and she has changed, like she is not that person today at all, you know, and not just because of what I said to her, but because I think many people said it to her, you know. The thing is that I have had moments in my life where I have been very, very toxic and very, very negative. And as I have really worked harder to be very positive in my life, I don't want to be around negative people. I just don't. I don't want to be around toxic people. It just brings me down. Like, it emotionally just pulls all of my energy. So, you know, I have to really work at that. And I also realize that I can't fix the world, you know? Just like I had to do the work to be a more positive person, just like I had to get up every single day, and I had to consciously think to myself, the glass is half full, not half empty. Be grateful for what you have. Work through everything. But I wanted to say this because I think this is important, and this was the moment that I was going to say, like, there's somebody out there that needs to hear this. Yeah, this is what I was going to say when I said there's somebody out there that needs to hear this, and I don't know, this is just from my gut. I think for a lot of us that have been negative or toxic for a long time, to actually admit that we're really enjoying life or that life is good is hard. Like, it's hard. And that's what I was going to say about my friend. Like, she had a really hard time kind of transitioning over to being like this really negative person that was constantly like making fun, joking, all that kind of stuff, right? To being somebody that you can tell shines from the sunlight of the spirit. I mean, she's a very positive person today. And so, you know, it's interesting when you see that transition happen. And I didn't witness it with myself, but I knew that it happened because I can feel it. And people tell me all the time, they're like, you're so positive and whatever, you know? There was a time when people would not have said that about me at all, that I was positive, you know? And that means a lot to me today because I've done a lot of work on that. But I think this is the thing that I would say. That feeling inside of you that is pulling to complain, to pulling to say that the glass is half empty, the pulling to be toxic and negative, you have to stop it. You have to start making the comments like, isn't it beautiful outside today? I'm so grateful for my husband. I'm so grateful for my wife. I'm so grateful for my life. My dogs make me so happy. Oh, this cup of coffee is so fantastic. You have to start noticing those things. You have to train your mind to be willing to say the positives and ignore the negatives. You have to. You have to. Because if you don't stop the language that you speak in your head, the tape will continue to run and you'll continue to be a negative person in your head. And no matter what's coming out of your mouth, that negativity in your head it'll hurt you more than anybody else. And you don't want to be negative. I don't want to be negative. I just don't. To have negative moments, that's one thing, okay? To be pessimistic in some situations, sure. Most of us are some points in our life, right? But to be negative every single day that you wake up to the point where people don't want to be around you, like that's a problem. That's sad. And you know what? You can change that. I know because I did. And I did lose friends because I was negative. I did lose friends because people didn't want to be around me because every time they were around me, they could say the sky is blue. I'd say, it won't be for long, or it's going to get colder later tonight, so it's just going to rain anyway, whatever. It's still something that, I can feel inside of me. And I really think that it's part of my, addiction as well. Because I'm from a very young age, I think I looked at things that way. I don't want to look at things that way anymore. I want to look at things from the magic of the world. I want to look at things in an amazingly magically amazing way, I want to look at the world and realize that, I'm looking out there right now and look at the sun hitting every leaf in my backyard and the flowers in my back patio. And I want to enjoy all of that, right? But I have to be active in my own hope. I have to be active in my own love of the universe. I have to be active in my own positive thinking. Because if not for me, who else is going to do it? I can't rely on anybody else. I'm the only one that can change me. And I want to live my life through the perception of looking through eyes or glasses of positivity. I don't want to look through eyes of negativity and look at everything in the world as negative. And I don't want the people around me to do that either because they're missing out on the beauty and the magic of the world. And I don't want that for you as well. So if you're that person, you can change that today. And maybe the awareness that we were talking about in the previous meditation is about where you are today. And what do you need to start doing? And it's as simple as just doing gratitude lists and start just noticing the positive instead of the negative. And not letting the negative come out of your mouth and just focusing on the positive. And trust me, people around you will notice it very quickly because they did with me. People right away would be like, you don't complain as much anymore. That was the thing I heard a lot. You don't complain as much anymore, So anyway, let me know what you think about those meditations in the comment section below. I love you guys and I hope you're having a magically amazing weekend. I love you and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.